let's discuss about inefficiencies of traditional WAN. What are the different inefficiencies of traditional WAN? First one is cost. Why cost? Now, from where we are sending all the traffic on internet? From my data center, right? Okay. So the first point is cost. What do you mean by cost? So increased bandwidth demands are forcing companies to upgrade their private WAN, and which is very expensive. What do you mean by that? Let's say guys, you have a remote site, right? Today you have a 20 MB MPLS link. You have a 20 MB MPLS link, right? Let's say now the business is growing, your site is growing, so you want it to be 60 MB. So it is too expensive. Why it is too expensive, guys? MPLS services 3 times if we compare it to normal internet, right? So first problem is cost. First of all, on the data center side, we have to buy bandwidth for all the sites, because all the sites are sending traffic back to my data center. First thing. Second thing, on the sites also, if the demand will increase, I have to increase the capacity of the MPLS circuits, right? Second point is higher latency. I just explained you with the help of 2 examples. So let's say you have some websites which are local to the country, but the countries have to send traffic back to my data center, and the traffic will come back to the government websites, right? Third point, availability. Why I am calling it availability? Let's say your company has a single data center, right? And that data center is in US, right? And let's say there is some natural calamity in US. So my whole organization is dependent on that data center for sending out traffic to the internet. Fine. So I call it single point of failure. So if someone asks me, Piyush, you have to design a network, I will never design that network and make it dependent on one data center, right? Last point is velocity. What do you mean by velocity? Now guys, let me tell you one thing to explain this point, velocity. Now, let's say you want an internet connection, right? So what do you do? Send a request to service provider, and they will come to your place and provide you the connection, right? Because internet is so demanding nowadays that internet provisioning is everywhere, but the same is not true for MPLS, right? So let's say you want a MPLS connection. So sometime what will happen, in the area where you require it does not have a provision. Now if they have a provision, they have limited bandwidth, right? So deploying MPLS process is a bit slow. I'm not saying in all the cases, but yes, in some of the cases the process is slow. Guys, I can assure you this thing, that velocity is also one of the reason why I'm saying this. Because in the past, what I have seen, that when I was working for one of the company, so that company has one of the site in one of the location, and what happened that due to the increased business demand applications, we have to increase the bandwidth of the MPLS circuit of that site. But what service provider told us that there is no provision. We had a 40 Mbps circuit there, and in that area only 40 Mbps can be allocated to my organization, right? So there was no provisioning to increase the bandwidth, and service provider told me that they will take 6 months to have a new line there so that they can provide me 100 MB bandwidth. So that's why I'm saying deploying MPLS is a bit slow, right? Now guys, these are the 4 inefficiencies of the traditional WAN. One is cost, second is latency, third one is single point of failure. Fourth one is velocity. What we require now? We require some solution that can help us run this WAN efficiently. So guys, this particular solution will be my SD-WAN. So SD-WAN is designed to address these challenges, right? So how things will look like once SD-WAN will be in picture. Let's say this is your company, this is your remote site. So the remote sites will be reaching to the internet directly. Can you see? So there is no latency, right? There is no latency. Second, no extra cost on DC side for bandwidth, right? No dependency on data center for internet based traffic, right? And no dependency on MPLS links. Now you will ask me, Piyush, why? Let's say this is a remote site, so this does not require a MPLS to reach the data center. So this can be connected to my data center with the help of internet link also, with the help of a VPN, right? So if there is no MPLS provisioning available, what I can do, I can purchase the internet link, I can send traffic directly to the internet, and second thing, with the help of that internet link, we can build a VPN with my data centers, right? So this is how things gonna be fine. So SD-WAN is basically here to address the issues that we have discussed. Now you can ask me one thing, that Piyush, how we come across these lot of issues at the same time. See, the point here is, we people are moving to cloud. Let me give you a very small example. So what was happening in the past? Let's say I work in a company, and let's say I have some data. So data was local on my laptop, or that was on the server which are located in my data center. So let me give you a pictorial view of it. Let's say these are your remote sites, right? So all people are working on these remote sites, and this is your data center. Fine. So in data center we will have some servers. So all these people are working, right? Their data is stored on these servers which are in my data center, right? Here. So maximum traffic in the past, maximum traffic for an organization was intranet, right? But if I talk about today, it is not the case. So let's say this is your data center. You have some servers, right? This is your internet, right? And these are your cloud applications. Anything, it can be anything, right? And these are your remote sites. So these remote sites are accessing the applications which are on cloud, which are directly on the internet, not in my data center, right? So guys, the need is changed. Earlier, the remote sites want to reach the data center, so the network was designed in that way. But now all the applications are present on the internet. So network needs to be changed, right? A transformation is required. So that's why we are bringing in what? We are bringing in SD-WAN. Because now the application that the users are accessing, 90% of the applications are on Google. They are internet based. They are not intranet based, right? So earlier we were sending all the traffic to my data center because maximum all the applications were hosted in my data center. But now this is not the case, right? That's why we require a new solution, and that solution is called SD-WAN. So SD-WAN is there to remove the inefficiencies that we have with our traditional networks, right? Next thing, any other problem we see with traditional WAN? Yes, guys, now your turn. Any other problem you see with traditional WAN? Right. So that point is decentralized network management. I explained this particular term. Yeah, applications will be running slow. It will be there will be latency, right? So decentralized network management means that in traditional WAN we are managing all the network devices manually. Guys, think of your WAN, right? If you are working in an organization, you are managing all your VPN routers or your MPLS routers manually one by one, right? That should not be the case with this traditional WAN, sorry, with SD-WAN, right? So in traditional WAN, what we are doing is we are managing all the components of a network. In SD-WAN, we will be managing all the components of the network. From where? From a centralized point, right? What we call that centralized point? We call that centralized point my vManage, right? I will tell you in future. Clear?